The choice of the objects is very much based around intuition, combing through this sort of catalog of anything that you could imagine. What I'm looking for is something that people have a kind of relationship with, they remember, but it's something that's not used anymore. And we make molds of them, and the process involves a kind of experimentation of how to get materials like volcanic ash or crystal to conform back into that shape. Oftentimes when people are looking at these, they imagine that the original object is somehow contained within that. The process of the mold making brings every single detail, to the surface. So everything from the texture of the felt on the inside of the mic to the texture of the, metal. But the original is not inside here. This is entirely made out of steel and ash. I wouldn't say that these works are a comment on anything in particular. They're a sort of invitation to, rethink your everyday experience. Much of the work that I'm doing, either in this sort of world or in an architectural scenario, are manipulating things that are very much everyday. In the same way that these works that disrupt your expectations about architecture, these pieces and the future relic objects have this kind of disruption of time. They're taking something from the past, now it's projected into the future. Where are you as a viewer in time? So this film, Future Relic, is a sort of 1.5 year work in the making, and was really for me about building a kind of larger narrative around some of these objects that I've been making. The objects often imply a sort of story or an idea behind them, and the film is really about directing that narrative. In addition to the film premiere next week, I will also premiere a new stage work with the choreographer Jonah Bokaer. He and I have worked together for a number of years. We met during our time working with Merce Cunningham. Merce Cunningham was in Miami, happened to see my work at the museum there, and called me and asked me if I would like to collaborate with him. I had never worked in stage before, so it was a kind of crash course for me in working with him the first time. And I essentially began that first piece with him, and he kept asking me to work with him again. Occupant, which premieres at the Art Center in Miami, uses some of these objects that I've been working with, but they're cast in chalk in order to allow the performers to use them almost as inscribing tools on the floor of the stage. And at the end of the performance, we're left with a kind of wasteland of broken cameras and phones that have left this inscription on the stage floor. The performance that Jonah did in the last exhibition in London was a very small fragment of this larger work. So oftentimes when he's performing in one of my exhibitions, he will choose one work to kind of respond to and build a 5 to 10 minute work off of that.